Continuing Sefer Yehoshua and Parakal of pasuk Ches V'Yisa Yoma. This is going to be part 5, a new idea. What is the punishment for not learning Torah? So Rav Shach, he quoted his uncle, Rav Isser Zalman Meltzer, who once described the overpowering experience of hearing Rav Itzele of Petersburg, inspiring an audience to devote themselves to learning Torah. And so fearful was his weeping and wailing, and so deeply did it penetrate that his listeners, they also began to cry along with him. Rav Itzele, he cited the Gemara in Yoma that talks about that the wicked person, he's going to go up to heaven at the end of his life, and he's going to be asked, why didn't you learn Torah? Now, this fellow, we're a wicked person. We're talking about a wicked person over here. He was engulfed in sins his entire life. He didn't have the slightest connection to mitzvos. And the first question he is asked is, why didn't you learn Torah? The wicked, they're not going to be, they're not called to account for not having studied and learning Torah only after being purified in Gehinnom from all the more serious sins. We're talking about over here, right? Up front, right? This is the first question, which he's going to be confronted with, right? As Chazal teach us, the rabbis teach us in Sanhedrin Daf Zayin, Amar Aleph, that the first question that a person is asked when he goes up to heaven is, did you learn Torah? How much Torah did you learn? What did you do? Did you set time to learn every single day? Even the judgment of the wicked person begins here as well, because they were also only created for the purpose of learning Torah. This is how the rabbis explain the pasuk in Eov in Parakeh, pasuk Zayin, Adam la'amel yulud, that man was born to toil. This is referring to toiling by learning Torah. Gemara and Sanhedrin, Mem Tesamid Beis. Yes, he will be judged for all of his wickedness and all of the wicked ways that he did. But the first question is, why didn't he learn Torah? It's terrifying to think about. What is the wicked person going to answer? You know what the Gemara over there in Yoma says? I was very good looking, and I was busy with satisfying my evil inclination. So they asked him, were you better looking than Yosef HaTzaddik? Right? Yosef, he withstood the sinning with the wife of Potiphar, Ish's Potiphar. So Rav Itzele is bothered over here. Imagine you gave such an answer. I was busy indulging my evil inclination to learn Torah. The father asks his son, he says, why didn't you go to yeshiva today? Could anyone imagine the son would excuse himself by saying, I was too busy stealing? Like, what's going on over here? That answer would upset the father more than if the son would simply just keep quiet. Isn't it exactly the same situation when the wicked person excuses himself for not learning Torah by saying he was too busy sinning? How do we understand such an answer? We could only conclude from this response and this answer of the wicked person that the sin of not learning Torah is so much more serious than any other sin, that even the wicked person will grasp at any other sin as an excuse for not having devoted himself to learning. Think about that for a minute. The excuse for the wicked person not learning is that he was doing other sins. Anything he'll try to do to get out of the sin of not learning Torah. We therefore see how important it is to learn Torah. This we in fact see the severity of the situation. How could we not be terrified when we think about this? The source of this story is in the Rosh Hashiva Remembers on pages 141 to 142.